Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-20
And 10.
800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, folks, we are back. It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC, top of the hour, hanging out with the rest of you. Don't forget, you can always give us a call at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. I've got plenty of stuff to get into in the next hour. We will talk about this Supreme Court the Supreme Court decision on the immunity of Donald Trump and why everyone is out of sorts about it. I have no idea what everyone is so upset about. Like, you knew this was going to happen. I don't know who these people were who thought that it wasn't going to happen. And I was the one. Look, no one would consider me a constitutional attorney. No one would ever suggest that. But I told everybody that the president of the United States had immunity, and if he didn't, then Barack Obama is going to have a serious problem on his hands in the next couple of months afterwards. That he was going to be in serious dog poo. And what did I mean by that? Alalaki. Did everybody forget about November of 2011? When Barack Obama sent a drone strike to kill an American citizen? Did you forget about that? A guy who was trying to influence Al-Qaeda and ISIS? Remember that? The guy who was online talking about death to an American citizen from New Mexico? That Barack Obama put on the CIA kill list? An American citizen he did not go and capture and bring him back to face trial? He instead put him on a kill list by the CIA? Did you forget that? Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and to everyone. And if you're making your way toward Hartford right now, southbound 91 just a little tight, 33 down to 32 A and B. On the northbound side of 91, that moves well. Cromwell up into Winter. Westbound 84 a little tight coming out of the tunnel. 84 eastbound losing a little speed moving into the tunnel. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury and Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 84 eastbound Waterbury tight by 18. 84 eastbound Danbury slowing New York, Connecticut line out to exit 5 in Danbury. 84 eastbound again tight by 8 in Danbury. More slow traffic 10 to 11 on the eastbound side of 84 in Newtown. South 95 tight in New Haven. 46 down to exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, it's looking like a pretty great evening for us. If you want to do something outdoors, take the dog for a walk, maybe a little grilling, anything. Looking great, though. Clear to partly cloudy overnight. It'll be comfortable with the low down to 59. Another beautiful day. Well, both Tuesday and Wednesday looking absolutely stunning for us. Mostly sunny Tuesday, high of 86. Partly sunny Wednesday, right back to 86. Everybody wants to know about Independence Day, though. It'll be warm and humid, a mix of clouds with some breaks of sun. Just a chance for an afternoon thunderstorm, the high of 87. Friday, another hot day, a mix of sun and clouds, a couple of afternoon showers and a thunderstorm, the high up to 91. Currently, taking a look around, well, it's a cool 72 in New London with a sea breeze. Otherwise, Mansfield at 79. It is 80 in Bristol and Hartford at 81. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't just live with foot pain. Find the Good Feet store nearest you at goodfeet.com.
This 4th of July, Columbia Dental has a special gift for you. Visit their Manchester office at 483 Middle Turnpike West between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. for a free dental cleaning. First come, first served. Celebrate with a bright smile at Columbia Dental.
Computer Talk is now commercial-free. That means more time for tech talk and more time for your calls. You heard right. Computer Talk with Tab is now commercial-free, powered by GoNet Speed, bringing you lightning-fast fiber internet. Visit GoNetspeed.com for pricing and availability. Tune in Saturdays, 9 to 11.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Philo's got a world of explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start
Thanks,
watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere, for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitment.
And 10.
For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting?
What's my out
Visit
time?
philo.tv
20?
and
27?
Sign up today to start your 7.
Yeah, 27 and a half.
All right, good. All right, I want to go on a little roll first before I take in these
your
4.
girl Cammie.
Cool.
I want to go on a roll
And
before I
want
take
you
on
to
these
know
calls.
that
Okay.
Listen to the radio. Okay, I listen to Reese on the radio.
Oh, man, now you're talking. Farside, one of my favorite groups of all time. It's Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on News Talk 1080 WTIC. And don't fret, folks. You can always go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com this week. I will not be doing the Reese on the Radio rundown because I'll be here doing, hours with you right here on WTIC. But you scallywags from the Reese on the Radio rundown, the podcast at night, you could just go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific, or as they say in the hood, specific, and check out the show. It's like the same thing. I'll get to the phones in a second, but I got to make this thing. I promised I would bring it up because I'll get into the Supreme Court thing too and your phone calls. But I want to bring up this thing that people are trying to invent. Who remembers the binders of women controversy of Mitt Romney in the 2012 election? Do you remember that? He said we had these binders of women. And what did he say? What did he mean? He had a binder with women's particular candidates of women that he wanted for a particular position. And people tried to suggest that there was something about that was sexist. So now we've got a new one. And the new one is black jobs. Black jobs. You guys really want to go there? Do you really want to go there on the black job thing? Allow me to assassinate this stupidity right here. Black jobs, after all the DEI nonsense you put us through for the last 3 years, you got a problem with Donald Trump saying that illegals are coming into the country taking black jobs. Now, all of a sudden, you're concerned about the term black jobs. You were trying to turn every job into a black job. Anybody remember The Little Mermaid? How did that become a black job? Didn't it? Wasn't that a black job? Huh? That had to be a black job. We are so sick and tired of that white mermaid, we had to get a black girl in there. Huh? Let's talk about black jobs. Huh? Soon we got to make Superman black. Soon we got to make Wonder Woman black. Huh? Soon everything's got to be black. We got to make the writers black at CBS for Jewish comedies. I thought, you want to talk about black jobs? Apparently everything's a black job. And all Donald Trump did was mention that illegals are coming into the country and they're taking everybody's jobs. Yeah, you think you got a problem with black job? You won't have a problem with it once you don't have it. You'll be screaming for black jobs once they're all gone. Ask them in Chicago, where are their black jobs? Chicago didn't have a problem with that term. They were glad somebody said something about it because Joe Biden, the compassionate candidate who cares about everybody based upon the color of their skin, their sexual orientation, and their gender, which apparently is fluent, he didn't seem to be doing much to codify or solidify black jobs in Chicago or in New York or in Gary, Indiana, or anywhere else that he was flying illegals in the middle of the night, giving them work permits to do jobs that black people obviously could not get. You want to have a problem? You want to talk about black jobs? You keep letting this administration take control of everything, you'll have no jobs. Your job will be collecting a welfare check. Keep talking slick. Remember when Joe Biden said in 2012 that Mitt Romney will put y'all back in chains? He's doing a pretty good job keeping you chained to government, isn't he? Turns out Biden was putting you back in chains. You'll be begging for a black job when he's done with you. Kill that noise, as we say. Don't embarrass yourself. Black jobs. Now back to my black job. filling in here for Todd Feinberg. Let's get to the phones. Hey, Charles Six Eyes, LA in the house in the chat room. Let's go to Bill in Weathersfield. You home with Reese on the radio on the Todd Feinberg Show.
Reese, always enjoy hearing you fill in for any of the people on
Thank you, man.
A few calls back, he was calling in. He was going to be a third-party voter.
Yes, sir.
And I wish you'd asked him, well, are you happy with the candidates that you voted for, or that ended up getting elected when you vote for the third party? Maybe it'd be better if everyone in the third party now rushes and just votes for Trump so he wins in a landslide, and they'll send a message to the other party just as much as, oh, now we have 2% people voting in a third party instead of 1%. That doesn't send any message at all.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that, sir. Appreciate the perspective. Let's go to Matt. Thank you, sir. Let's go to Matt in Bristol. Hello, Matt. You on Reese on the radio?
Hey, Reese. First, let me just say, Halle Berry would have made a way better Wonder Woman than Catwoman.
I'm not going to lie. I'd have gone for that.
Yeah. She would have killed that.
Yes.
Hey, I'm calling. So I tried to set my alarm to hear you on Sunday at 5 p.m. Did I miss it or what happened?
It was on an hour later. And I think it's 6 Eastern. I'm almost positive it is. But if that's the case, here's what I want you to do. Matt. If you are you friends with me on Facebook? Are you a follower on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay, I will make sure that I post it immediately when it comes on so you can get an alert. Will that help?
That will definitely help.
Okay.
And here's my question.
Yes, sir.
So if none of these stations hire you on full time, when are you just going to do a 3-hour podcast and charge $10 a month? Because I will drop Netflix in a heartbeat to get you for 3 hours a day.
Oh. Matt, if there are more people like you and they really support that idea, I promise you I will. But if I can say this, and I don't mean this, I'm not joking. I feel almost, I'm almost against the idea of thinking that I am worthy enough for anyone to pay for my show. Not that I don't think very highly of myself. Maybe that's a low self-esteem thing. I totally appreciate the people who love what I do here and anywhere else for that matter. So thank you. I'm very humbled by you saying that. I want very, very much to be able to do a show where people will come in, and guess what? If you're asking for me to do a longer show on my podcast, I will make it happen. I promise you I will make it happen. And I appreciate you saying that. That really means the world to me. But if I think about a subscription, I would make it cheaper than that, something that people could afford. I don't think that I'm great enough for anybody to spend $10. I'm a horrible salesman in that regard, but it's something that I would consider. I do half that. I do $4.99. If people would spend that kind of money on it, I would definitely do it.
Oh my God! I mean, if you did like a full 2-3 hour podcast every day, you would have no problem getting that. No problem at all.
I appreciate.
I don't even subscribe to podcasts, but that one I would subscribe to.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. That's so kind of you. Thank you for the call and thank you for saying that, man. I appreciate you. And now let's go to the polar opposite of this conversation. Let's go to Tim in Hamden. Who will probably lambaste me. Hello, Tim. You're on Reese on the radio.
I heard the bizarre calls about third-party candidates. And let me tell you a couple things. Well, first off, the state of Connecticut, the Republican Party is not fielding any candidates in 45 of the state house races.
Okay.
Where is the second party? There is no second party. You've got a congressional candidate.
Are you talking about here in Connecticut? Are you talking about in Connecticut?
Here in Connecticut,
Okay.
45 state house races have no Republicans.
Right. No challenge. They're going unchallenged.
Greens, there are a couple of Greens running against Democrats.
Uh-huh.
A couple of Democrats running mostly unopposed.
Right.
You know, so you've got a congressional candidate, George Logan, who's so embarrassed at a Republican meeting, he told people to turn off the phone because he wanted to endorse Trump, but he didn't want it on cell phone so it could be used against him. That is embarrassing. So basically, we have systems already.
Right.
You know, there's a thing called the ranked choice voting.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you get a chance. You know, if say it was George Bush versus Nader versus Al Gore and Pat Buchanan.
Mm-hmm.
You say, well, I like Ralph Nader. I'll vote for him first.
Right.
Okay. He doesn't get enough votes. So whoever gets 50% or more in that race automatically wins.
Right.
Well,
and what happens? Wait.
know,
But what happens in that race, Tim? And this is the argument I was making on another podcast a couple of weeks ago. The people speak. Let's say it breaks down between those four candidates where everybody makes 22%. Let's say, and it's not impossible. This has happened before. What happens if everyone across the board just gets a quarter of the votes? What do you do?
Well, the second round, you know, whoever has the lowest,
right,
you know, gets dropped.
They're out. Okay, good. I'm glad you said that. Okay.
They get transferred. Okay, your guy didn't win, so who's your second choice?
Right.
And that could be, you know, if.
So are you talking about running, Tim, let me stop you for a second. Tim, let me stop you so I understand what you're saying. So are you saying that there are going to be rounds of this coming up?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, rounds. Okay, I like this so far. But that means that you're going to have a primary season that starts as early as what, like March? In an election year?
No. It's called instant. It's also called instant runoff.
Okay.
Basically, it is basically whoever you decide on that one voting day and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
You know, yeah, I would say I like Nader. Maybe I like Al Gore second.
Right.
You know, and that sort of stuff. Same thing. I like Pat Buchanan first, but I'm not going to throw the election by voting for Pat Buchanan or Ralph Nader or somebody like that, you know. And the second thing, you know, we're actually having a state commission trying to be informed with Republicans and Democrats and everybody else.
Right.
So we'll probably have it in the next election. Second thing, real quick, by getting just 5%, you know, if the Libertarians or the Greens or anybody gets that, then they get millions of dollars for the next election, lots of legal standing. So even that 5% doesn't mean you're going to win, but it does get you automatic, legal standing and money for the next election.
Right. Okay.
That's very important.
It is.
So
listen,
that's
Connecticut notwithstanding, I think the biggest problem that we have in Connecticut is this is such a blue state, and many Republicans don't want to run primarily because they don't think they've got a shot. You know, it's a snowball's chance in hell in this state in a lot of cases. And a lot of people don't want to run the risk, you know, as they do. I think, look, we talked about the last election. What was the difference in that election? 174,000 votes in the state of Connecticut was the difference between Lamont and why am I forgetting his name now? Who ran against him? Why am I forgetting his name now?
Yeah.
Did we cut him? Did he lose him? Okay, we lost him. Anyway, we can take one more, right, before we get up here? Yeah, we can take one more. Let's take Steve in Middleton. Hello, Steve. You're on with Reese on the radio on the Tom Feinberg Show.
Hey, Reese.
Yes, sir.
Listen, the Democrats are afraid they're losing their democracy because they don't run a democracy. They run a hoaxocracy.
That's
With
right.
all these hoaxes to scare their voters into voting for them.
That's right.
They get covered from their lackeys in the media. And then by the time their voters find out they were lied to, the election's over.
But that's, you know what, Steve, but we don't have to worry about that now in this case. Remember, and I talked about this, but Steve, listen to what Stefanowski, thank you, by the way, it was Stefanowski. I knew I was getting his name right. This is the thing we need to consider right now where we are with this, Steve. Right now, the news...
You own a moving company, is that correct?
I own a chain of moving companies now, yes. Well, let me get to your point before we get into my personal thing. Listen, the thing with the news media is this, and I think that's what we expose. I talked about this earlier on the show. The news media is who is upset about what happened with Joe Biden. Remember, look, this is like when the news media got caught out there about Joe Rogan and ivermectin, or when it got caught out there about masks don't work, or when they got caught out there with, the pandemic of the unvaccinated. So every time they literally put their foot in their mouths or they jump out the window on a particular angle on a story, from Russiagate to the Steele dossier to Hillary Clinton, whatever the case may be, they stick their neck out and they say, this is the way it is. Remember, Brian Stelter, Chris Cuomo were on CNN telling you, don't do your own research. They stuck their neck out on these things. And what happens? They come back and they realize that they've completely duped an entire audience. And now they're embarrassed, as they were with Joe Biden on Thursday. They were embarrassed because they told you he was the better candidate. It turns out that he wasn't. And the only people who've been embarrassed are the newsrooms. They don't care about the American people. We know what we saw on the stage with Barack Obama and the G7. We saw it all. There's no mystery here. Let me go to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. I'm sorry, Mark. How are you, sir?
I'm doing really good, Reese. Thank you very much. And good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. But we do have a crash now, 84 eastbound in Southington at exit 32 Queen Street. Looks like the left lane is blocked there. So right now, looking at the cameras right now, looks like delays are back to exit 31 in Southington behind that, so you want to stay to the right there. Once you get around that little slope, 48 Capitol Avenue downtown, westbound 94, tap of the brakes as you move into the tunnel in Hartford. Southbound 91 slowing by 33, again down by exit 28 on the Hartford Weather Shield line. Northbound 91 looking good. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor, 291, 384 okay east of the river, 2 eastbound moving about Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet in Middletown. If you're heading toward Waterbury, 84 eastbound slowing by 18, 84 eastbound in Danbury delays from the New York Connecticut line to 5. Again, 84 eastbound tied up from 8 to exit 11 in Newtown. South 95 slowing in New Haven, 46 down to exit 44. Traffic and weather.
Just so you know, I'm talking to people in the chat room. So if you hear me talking, Roland, it's just to them.
A beautiful lead up to.
Oh, I figured that out a while ago.
Okay. All right. So, to those of you out there paying attention, I want to go with, yes, the man of STEAL. I love that one, Michael B. Hello, Ken. Thank you for showing up. Commentary is in the house, and I love the way that you do that. Commentary is a brilliant name, and I did check out the podcast. I love your podcast, by the way. When I get a chance to listen to it, I listen to it. You have got, you do curse a lot. I will say that, Commentary. And most people do on podcasts. Me, I guess I'm kind of a prude, but I love your show. Kimberly Virgil said that she would pay 38 cents for my podcast. Thank you, Kimberly. Any contribution will help. I promise you that I will be able to buy a couple of Jolly Rancher candies with that. And thank you, Ella. I appreciate everything you said there. And Karen at Friendly Hands Food Bank, you know I love you. Mwah. 6 Eyes in the house as well. So when we come back, stick around. We're going to talk about more of this fallout from the Supreme Court. And we'll have the crying Negro brother, Van Jones, on the show.
5:30 Hartford temperature, 80 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. U.S. Supreme Court today with an historic ruling sent former President Trump's immunity case back to a lower court in D.C., dimming the prospect of a pre-election trial. Justices said that the former presidents can be shielded from prosecution for at least some of what they do in the Oval Office. Bond was lowered for the suspect in a crash last week that left a state DOT worker dead. For now, Denise Lubicello faces DUI charges. Outside of court today, the family of Andrew DiDomenico said they would like to see those charges upgraded to include manslaughter. Arrest in a Hartford hit and run involving a child last month. Police charging 30-year-old Melvin Daniels after he allegedly struck the 19-month-old on New Britain Avenue and fled back on June 3rd. Norwich police charging a man in connection with that big brawl at Jenkins Park on Saturday. Jalen Jarman faces a host of charges, including assault on a police officer. Between 200 and 300 were involved in that melee at Jenkins Park on Saturday, say police. Israeli army has ordered a mass evacuation of Palestinians from the eastern half of Khan Yunis. They ordered today, a sign that Israeli troops could soon return to the southern city, the second largest in Gaza. Among some of the new laws taking effect in Connecticut on this July 1st, the DOT can now place speed ticketing cameras in construction zones, coming less than a week after the highway death of a DOT worker on the job in Wallingford. Wall Street, markets up today. The Dow finished ahead 50 points. NASDAQ gained 146, and the S&P was up 14. Red Sox idle tonight. They start a series in Miami tomorrow against the Marlins. We will have that here after the 6 o'clock news. Yanks idle tonight, and the Mets are in D.C. to face the Nationals. Eastern League, Yard Goats at Binghamton, 6:35 on the Odyssey app, and in the WNBA, Connecticut Sun travel to Phoenix to face the Mercury. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
At Batteries Plus, we know off is not an option. Off is an RV that won't travel or a boat that doesn't start. It's summertime. You need to be on vacation, on the water, on the road. Batteries Plus has batteries for your car, boat, motorcycle, and more. Plus portable power solutions, phone repair, and key remote services you can rely on. Summer's here. Power on. Batteries Plus. Visit one of over 700 locations today.
Hey, honey, is the AC on?
No, why? What's wrong now?
I'm getting hot.
Are you having hot flashes?
Honey, are you kidding me? I'm only 35.
Oh boy, we better call the Bee. Don't be that guy. Call the Bee first and get your $89 preseason system check. Call the Bee will come and perform a thorough evaluation and make sure you are ready to keep your home nice and cool no matter how hot your wife is. You definitely want to get it checked out before your wife kicks you out. Call the Bee today. CallTheBee.com. CallTheBee.com. That's callTheletterB.com.
This 1 minute.
To all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-403-5569 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-403-5569. That's 800-403-5569. What do you have to lose? Call 800-403-5569. Again, 800-403-5569.
This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I have to admit, this is probably one of my least favorite Wu-Tang songs. It's Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg today and the rest of the week, with the exception of Independence Day, and back on Monday. I'm also going to be hanging out with our sister station out in Buffalo, WBEN, so you'll be able to check me out anywhere and everywhere. Just go to the Odyssey app.
That Mark from West Hartford.
Got to go to the Odyssey app. So you can download it, have it, and then find out where Reese on the Radio is. Or you can go to reeseontheradio.com whenever you want. You can become a member there. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and all the other places and listen to the show. And I'll be anywhere and everywhere and hanging out with you. Before I go to Mark in West Hartford, I want to play this real quick. Jake Tapper, who was one of the moderators at the Thursday debate, this is him today.
There is a discernible pattern of Democratic officials seemingly trying to convince you, the public, to not believe what you saw and what you heard with your eyes and with your ears on Thursday night.
That means your that means your network as well, Jake Tapper. That means your network as well. Let's go to our good friend Mark in West Hartford. Hello, Mark. You're on Reese on Radio on the Todd Feinberg Show.
Hey, Reese, a couple of things. I want to thank Rudy for giving me some props, but I'll be honest with you, my phone blew up today.
Did it?
The front page of the Hartford Courant with the article regarding the 11-year-old who committed suicide in one of our middle schools here in West Hartford.
Yes.
I've been working on that for almost 2.5 years.
Yes, you have.
And what I was working on, it really, and this is where I'll tell you nothing got done, is, it was all about, for me, being a firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most important things we can do after the tragedy is done, whether it's a car accident or a fire, or you can fill in the blank, is to mitigate that tragedy to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Right.
And that was always my intention. And how do you mitigate something where nobody's going to even tell you it happened?
Right.
The only way for me to get involved, and so every official just ignored me, didn't want to tell. I had in the local media, I got to tell you, the reporter today in the Hartford Courant, her name is Allison Cross.
I know who she is.
Well, guess what? When you read every line pertaining to the police report, that's because I met her in a restaurant a year and a half ago. It was all outlined for her. Everything she highlighted, I highlighted along with my police friends.
Here's my let me ask you this. Let me ask you to be a little, to sort of put on your clairvoyance hat here. What do you think caused the article to be on the top fold of the Hartford Courant today? And why did it take 2 years? Why do you think it was important today versus when you were first trying to bring attention to it?
That's a good question, because the lawsuit came 6 months after the tragedy. So I started working on it right away.
Right.
But there was this period. Now, they had said at the time, because it was a suicide and involved a child, and I said, but it's a public event.
Mm-hmm.
I had the police report. It's redacted. We didn't need to know the name of the child, where they live, the gender, none of that. What we needed to do is to follow everything else. Where the bullying originated, which, by the way, happened right at the elementary school, right up the street from where I live, and then continued on to the middle school. It was documented at the elementary school. There were so many things that were public, that could be public. It had nothing to do with this lawsuit. And see, our town officials, they love that cloak of denying any comment because of the lawsuit now. But there was a 6-month period where, guess what? There wasn't a lawsuit.
Why do you?
And I know.
Can I tell you why?
Can
I tell you why that this was on the cover?
An image. I mean, go ahead. You can. I know what it's all about. It's
Come on.
and
Stay on the line. Stay on the line. When we come back, I'll tell you exactly the reason why it's on the cover today. Let's go to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. Well, we have this accident out in Southington 84 eastbound in the left lane at exit 32 Queen Street. Delays back to exit 31 in Southington behind that, so you want to stay to the right to get around that a little bit easier. Once you get into Hartford, just a little slowdown between 46 and 48 Capitol Avenue. Westbound 84, tapping the brakes out by 45 Flatbush Avenue. Southbound 91's a little tight by 33 Jennings Road. It's a good ride. 91 northbound Cromwell up into Winter. 291, 384 looking good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. If you're heading toward Waterbury, 84 eastbound, slowing by 18, 84 eastbound in Danbury, tight New York, Connecticut line to 5. Again, 84 eastbound, slowing from 8 in Danbury, out to exit 11 in Newtown. South 95, New Haven, tight 46 down to exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clear to partly cloudy tonight, comfortable with the low down to 59. A beautiful day Tuesday, mostly sunny, the high of 86. Right back to 86 on Wednesday for another great day, though partly sunny. Thursday, Independence Day, a mix of clouds and sun. There'll be a thunderstorm possible in the afternoon. Warm and humid day for us, that high up at 87 on Thursday, and then heading into the day on Friday. Another hot one with a mix of sun and clouds, a couple of afternoon showers and a thunderstorm. The high up to 91. Currently, it is 75 in Waterbury, Danbury at 79, also 79 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Summer savings on Sundance Spas for 4th of July at Superior Hearth Spas and Leisure. Factory rebates up to $1,000, plus 12-month special financing. Deals end July 15th. Always superior products, always superior service. SuperiorAtHome.com.
We want everyone to enjoy their 4th of July weekend. So please, use a rideshare or a designated driver. A DUI will change your life. Don't drink and drive. From your friends at Odyssey and Carter Mario Injury Lawyers.
The real estate market is sizzling hot at an all-time high. Hi, I'm Sandy Terenzi with Mike Price from the Livy and team at Keller Williams Legacy Partners. And if you're on the fence, this is absolutely the best time to sell.
That's right. Due to tight inventory, we are currently at a record-breaking high with Connecticut's median sale price now at $400,000. You don't want to miss this historic market.
Call us today at 860-855-SOLD. That's 860-855-SOLD and ask for me, Sandy Terenzi.
Warm and it.
Maybe the
Okay,
final
thank you.
frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles. Highly logical. Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax and build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It is your girl, Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, okay, I listen to Reese on the radio.
I see you out there, commentary. You can hate a little bit. I await the hate. You can hate a little bit. I got your back, though. It's Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on News Talk 1080 WTIC. When Roland plays this break, this beat is...
This make you want to just
I want to break
forever.
stuff. I want to break stuff. We're on the phone with Mark in West Hartford, our intrepid citizen journalist of West Hartford, who's on the line. And of course, he's talking about the story that made the top of the fold of the Hartford Current today. The family of the little girl who attempted suicide in a Connecticut school and later died alleges bullying playing a role in the lawsuit. Mark, I was saying before we took the break, what do you think the angle was? Why did this took place and finally came to the fold? I'll tell you why. And you're going to say to yourself, after I tell you, you'll go, oh, that's right. Because I told you this a long time ago. The story wasn't sexy when you brought it. You want to know why it wasn't sexy? Because the girl had committed suicide pertaining to race. And if you read the article, any of you reading the article, find a place where race played a role in this whole article. Is it even in the article at all, Mark?
No.
And you wonder why. Her bullies were white, weren't they?
Don't know.
Good question. That's the point.
Great question.
You see my point?
Exactly.
So the whole deal is this was an opportunity to find an angle that wasn't there when you were bringing it. Because again, it was an 11-year-old black girl who had clearly been bullied. They could not find someone to put a blame on. They couldn't find, right? In all of this, you have no, let's just say, oppressor, oppress opposition to the article. Now they found one. So they're talking about the bullying. They're talking about the attempted suicide and the suicide. And now the lawsuit has come in. And now it's all about anti-bullying. It's all about anti-bullying.
And I tried to be advantageous knowing the student was black.
Yes.
And I was trying to get to the bottom of it. So that's why I reached out.
Because you know what? Mark was asking the right question. Was it that this little girl was 11 years old and black that no one seemed to take any interest in the story? It seemed odd that an 11-year-old girl who took her own life didn't meet the mark or the measure of the news media jumping on it and trying to get to the bottom of it. We had a story, a year and a half ago of a 6-year-old who crawled out of, a 3-year-old, I apologize, crawled out of a window and died. Remember how important that story was? You know, and you and I have some inside, stories about that death that we've never brought to light. I almost did, but we never brought that to light, that people didn't want in the news media, primarily because it would have indicted an individual, in a court of public opinion, and they didn't want to do that. Why? Because it had to do with the fact that because of that person's race, in essence. That's what it was about.
Reese, why did it take me 3 strikes to realize, reached out to NAACP.
Nothing.
Reached out to BLM.
Nothing.
And guess who else I reached out to?
Whom?
Latoya Fernandez. The DEI hire by the liberal Democrats here in my West Hartford town.
And no
did
interest.
Nothing, but no interest. And all she did was built her career on race hustling.
Right.
She was out in San Jose.
But look, this is what I've said before, Mark, and I'll say it again. This is a very important thing to recognize. When you ask why these people don't jump on certain stories that the rest of us seem to like, where we really see true racism and it should be addressed, we ask ourselves, why are people so silent? Why is Scott X not involved? Why is, Black Lives Matter 860 not involved? And I said it's called the trifecta, right, of which they get engaged. The first thing is that if there's no political gain, financial gain, or moral gain, they want no parts of it. They have to profit in those 3 areas. It's not always financial. They have to utilize the death, the accusation, the assault, the incident, whatever it is. It has to meet 2 of those 3 criteria in order for them to be, how can we market this to put us at a moral superior place in order to fundraise off of it, or at least get somebody to pay for it. Like we can have a lawsuit, as we do in this case, where there's a lawsuit where somebody's going to be able to get something for it, or in order to gain it politically. Politically meaning we get this person fired and we get our person injected into said position. So those are the only 3 criteria that they need in order for it to be important to them. And in this case, no one has any evidence to suggest they can do any of that. I can't profit from this little girl dying. It sounds callous, by the way.
I think they would be, but listen, what if you were a council member? What if you were part of the BOE, which is our chairperson,
right,
the black female? What if you were the mayor, the town manager, the senator, our Senator Derek?
How long can I ride?
Knows his name.
How long can I ride the wave? How long can I ride the wave of this dead girl's? And I'm being serious. People think I'm being callous, but how long can I ride the wave on this? I'm sorry?
Yeah, but I said the bullying aspect of it is huge because they could have padded your resume with it. They could have brought in Senator Blumenthal, who I went personally in West Hartford, told him all about it, and of course he ignored me. But this is your perfect opportunity. Every official that's listening, you want to talk about bullying,
right,
and social media, because this police report, I can't even tell you. I'm not even going to get into it. But there were 15 individuals that responded to the individual that committed suicide when she asked, "How long will you miss me if I kill myself?"
Wow.
She had 15 responses. She's 11 years old. That means all these parents, like there was a teachable moment.
Yeah.
Hey,
People
these
knew.
Parents, I'm not faulting, but hey, before I go, can I ask you to just ask 3 questions of BLM 860?
Do you want to put them on the air or do you want to send them to me privately?
Oh, I'd love to put them on the air because I don't want it to be an I got you moment. Let them
Okay.
listen to them.
All right. I'm sure they're listening. Okay, I'll give you the 3. Go ahead. What's
this
question
is
1?
This is related. This is going to be related to the Greenwich incident.
Okay.
Where there was a white girl who was beat up pretty badly.
Mhm.
And the comments from BLM 860,
I remember.
were they should have kicked her teeth out.
Mhm.
And the other one that's really disturbing, he'll never answer me either, was if it was in Hartford, she might not have lived. So I've asked them several times and they ignore it. I go, are the blacks in Hartford, more dangerous or murderous than the blacks in Greenwich? Why would you say
I'm going to listen. I'm going to pass. I'm going to hold on. I'm going to pass on that question for this reason, right? What she's saying is hyperbolic. There's no question there, right? What was written by Black Lives Matter in that argument was hyperbolic. But now you're asking her to speak for the people of Hartford, which she had no right to do in the first place. I think in that case, she's just being provocative. But I'll get in. Oh, no. I'll get into the provocative. Hold on, Mark. I'll get into the provocative nature. Wait. Before you, I don't want to step over you. I'll get into the provocative nature of their posts. Trust me, I've got plenty to go to. So I'll get into that tomorrow. Go ahead.
Here's one they could have organized, and it means them, not the people of Hartford.
Okay.
Black Lives Matter. Listen to this quote. I mean, looking back on 2020, we should have rioted. If I could go back, we would have burnt down downtown and the West End instead of blocking a bridge.
Okay.
Hey, Reese, you don't know the West End of Hartford.
I do.
Those are their supporters.
I know.
They're the ones that have BLM signs out.
I know.
They're the ones that fund them. They're the ones that support everything they believe in, and they're talking about burning it down.
Listen. Again, another point that, listen, I already have that tweet as well. I definitely will bring that up. What's the third one?
All right. Oh, that was it. I had. I wanted them. Well, I guess I was incorporating kicking the teeth out.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they should have kicked her teeth out. I mean,
again, listen.
God, or she might not have lived in Hartford.
I'm going to say that. Look. I'm not going to take.
That's offensive.
I'm not going to take the role of Black Lives Matter. I'm definitely not going to carry water for them on any of those comments. But I do believe this. There's a very thin line between Black Lives Matter 860 professionally and personally on some of these issues. I almost feel like it's just, somebody's on the Black Lives Matter Twitter page or the X page and posting anything and everything about everyone. And the capacity of that page that they're posting things will put something official on what they believe, and then on a personal level sort of rabble rousing and posting it like an average citizen on a particular subject. They should separate the two, but I'm going to make that point tomorrow when I talk to them.
Like they're separating themselves from the pack.
They should.
Which I told you too. If they really want to, drop the BLM. But if you're going to make comments, we should have burnt down the downtown and West End.
Right.
I mean, you're no different than BLM on the national.
And I think that's the point. That's the point we're going to drive home tomorrow. But I appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Reese.
You got it. Anyway, Mark in West Hartford, folks. And again, listen, it took him a long time for him to get these people to recognize what was going on with that little girl, but too little, too late. But at least it sounds like someone gives a damn. Michael A says, "Hey Reese, great show. I've been listening on the radio. Didn't know that you were on. Yeah, I'm posting live. I was trying to get some audio done or fix the audio earlier so I could be on earlier, but we will definitely do this tomorrow." Trolling Stone says, "Stumbled upon you thinking it was the Reese report, almost the same logo, but I listened and I'm digging the POV. An hour a day. You're on Rumble channel. Be good." Thank you so much, Trolling Stone. And you can catch me here every day this week with the exception of Independence Day. So, folks, if you want to be a part of the Scallywags, who are got to be the greatest bunch of folks who are on the Reese on the Radio Rundown, and I applaud them again. The Scallywags, if you want to join the Scallywags and become a Scallywag, just go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. listen to the show, comment, be a commentator, or give some commentary in the chat room, and you will join them. Trust me, these guys are, and when I say guys, I mean that, and girls as well. They are the best group of folks who listen to the show. I have a great time with them. I run to the show because I can't wait to hear what they're going to talk about when it comes to the stories that I bring to the table. We will do this all again tomorrow. So, again, programming note, because Mark and I were just talking, very important. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 noon, Black Lives Matter 860. We are going to be talking to Evilise Carrera. She is kind of, I guess, the unofficial spokesperson of the group. I have asked her, and if any other members of Black Lives Matter 860 want to call in, we'll be happy to have them on the air as well. We're going to talk about anything and everything under the sun with relation to them. Most importantly, I think we're going to learn something new. And people have complained about this over 2 years, myself included, about why is it that Black Lives Matter seems to be in the fold on all of these so-called racial issues in the state of Connecticut, and not really involved in solving some of these problems. Well, it turns out there's a really, really interesting backstory to this. And myself and Evilise will get to the bottom of that and expose something that a lot of you don't know that's happening behind the scenes when it comes to Black Lives Matter and even the NAACP. We can go after those groups for some of the things they say and some of the things they do, and which we have already and we definitely will do tomorrow. But there are other nefarious actors in this, and they are the people that you suspect. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. And if those people were wise, they would listen tomorrow too, because we're going to put them on full blast. Now, I've got a problem with several factors when it comes to race baiting and race hustling and all that other stuff. And as a black man, I don't take any of it. I don't care who you are or where you're from. You will not utilize black people or anybody for that matter for financial, political, or moral gain. I don't play it. I don't stand for it. And in order for us to have a more perfect union, we have to get rid of, if not expose, people who are trying to destroy it. And they are here and they exist. Trust me on that. And best believe, if I have to, I'll go to the mat with it and I'll take the slings and arrows if they do. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you. I may miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. He is Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You got it, Reese. Thank you very much. Have a great night. If you're heading into Southington right now, 84 eastbound.
All right, my boy.
Thank you, sir. I know you're happy that I'm here this week, aren't you?
nice, smooth week.
Yeah, man. We'll do it up. Hey, give me some more beats like that last one. I love that. Every time you play it,
me too. It's hard though because they have it's just a plethora of. They have thousands and thousands.
I will send you. Hey, I will send you the instrumental for DeWick by Gangstar. I love that one, and I'll send you a couple other ones. I'll try to send them through. I'll send them through email.
All right, cool.
All right, talk to you tomorrow, man.
Yes, sir. Enjoy your night.
All right, man. You too. All right, folks. You know the drill. We are out of here, as I always say. It's been a pleasure. And I thank you. Please be here tomorrow. There's, of course, no Reese on the Radio rundown tonight because I'll be doing this all week. So I will see you back here tomorrow, 3 Eastern. And don't forget, folks, you can listen to Rumble in your car. You don't even have to have the video on. You can actually listen to Rumble on your car at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific. I almost said specific because I'm that bad.